Have you ever felt like something was pulling you away from your divine purpose? Like a force was keeping you from reaching your full spiritual potential? What if I told you that a substance so widely accepted, so deeply embedded in our culture, is silently working against you? Chosen ones, listen closely. Alcohol is not just a drink. It is a weapon, a tool designed to disconnect you from your higher calling. You may have heard that alcohol is harmless, even sacred in some traditions. But what if I told you that its true nature is far more sinister? That it weakens your spiritual vibration, clouds your divine connection, and makes you vulnerable to energies that do not serve your highest good? This is not just about personal choice, this is about spiritual warfare. The word alcohol itself has ancient roots, and its meaning is far deeper than what we've been told. It is no coincidence that it's called a spirit, because that's exactly what it does. It invites spirits into your life, but not the ones you want guiding you. The Bible warns us to be sober-minded, 1 Peter 5 verse 8, because when you are under the influence, you are not in control, something else is. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will see alcohol in a way you never have before. And if you are truly seeking spiritual growth, self-realization, and a higher vibration, you cannot ignore what I'm about to reveal. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to this channel. Many who watch these videos are not yet subscribed, and by joining us, you ensure you never miss a single piece of transformative knowledge that could change your life. Click that subscribe button now, and let's dive deep into the forbidden truth about alcohol's spiritual impact. From the very beginning, alcohol has been more than just a drink. It has been a ritual, a symbol, a tool, both for enlightenment and destruction. Ancient civilizations understood this dual nature well. The Sumerians, Egyptians, Greeks, all of them revered alcohol in one form or another. They connected it to gods like Osiris and Dionysus, believing it held divine properties. But here's what most people don't realize. Alcohol was never meant to be consumed carelessly. It was sacred, powerful, and in many cases, restricted to high priests, rulers, and those trained to handle its effects. Think about that for a moment. If something is truly harmless, why was it guarded so carefully? Why was it reserved for select individuals? The answer lies in its effect, not just on the body but on the soul. The very word alcohol comes from Arabic roots, tracing back to Al-Kuhul, a fine powder used in cosmetics. But in the language of alchemy, alcohol represented a distilled essence, a spirit extracted from a base material. This is why we still call alcoholic drinks spirits today, because they were always understood to have an effect beyond the physical. And here's where it gets even deeper. Alchemists believed that alcohol had the power to extract the soul from the body, a process they referred to as separation. This means that when you drink, you are not just altering your state of mind, you are shifting your spiritual alignment, making yourself more susceptible to influences you might not even be aware of. Now let's bring this into perspective for the chosen ones. Those walking the spiritual path, seeking divine purpose, trying to raise their vibration and step into their calling. You cannot afford to play with things that lower your frequency. The enemy does not come in obvious ways. He comes subtly, presenting things as normal, as enjoyable, as part of culture. And alcohol, it has been normalized so deeply that people don't even question it anymore. The Bible gives us many warnings about the dangers of alcohol, yet society has conditioned us to ignore them. Proverbs 20 verse 1 says, "Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise." Notice the word deceived. Alcohol is deceptive. It tricks you into thinking you are in control when in reality you are anything but. For those seeking spiritual growth, alcohol creates a barrier between you and the divine. It numbs your connection to your higher self, dulls your discernment, and weakens your spiritual defenses. It's no coincidence that people under the influence find themselves making choices they regret, falling into temptations they normally resist, and waking up feeling empty, lost, or disconnected. But let's go deeper. What does alcohol do on an energetic level? Your aura, the energetic field surrounding your body, acts as a protective barrier against negative influences. When your aura is strong, you feel centered, grounded, and spiritually connected. But alcohol? It punctures this field, creating openings where negative energies can attach themselves. This is why, after drinking, many people experience strange thoughts, irrational emotions, or even feel like they are being watched or followed by an unseen presence. Have you ever noticed that people who drink excessively often go through cycles of depression, confusion, or spiritual crisis? This isn't just biology, it's a spiritual attack. The more alcohol weakens your aura, the easier it is for lower vibrational entities to attach themselves, influencing your thoughts, emotions, and even your life path. Now, let's talk about chakras, the energy centers in your body. Alcohol affects them dramatically, but most people have no idea. It overstimulates the root chakra, the energy center tied to survival, earthly pleasures, and physical desires. This is why alcohol often leads to reckless behavior, impulsive decisions, and a focus on immediate gratification rather than long-term spiritual goals. At the same time, it weakens the crown chakra, which is your direct link to divine guidance. This is why people who drink heavily often feel a sense of disconnection, spiritual numbness, or even existential dread. The very pathway that allows you to receive insight, wisdom, and guidance from God becomes blocked. And this is where we see the true deception. Alcohol promises freedom, fun, and relaxation, but what it really delivers is spiritual bondage. It lowers your vibration, delays your soul journey, and keeps you distracted from your true divine purpose. The enemy knows that the chosen ones are waking up. He knows that you are stepping into a season of self-realization, endurance, and spiritual growth. And so, he places obstacles in your path, subtle, normalized, seemingly innocent distractions that keep you from becoming who you were meant to be. And let's be real. Have you ever felt truly empowered after drinking? Sure, there's a moment of lightness, maybe even confidence, but what happens after? The spiritual fog, the regrets, the emotional instability, the feeling of being uncentered, that is not the frequency of someone on the path to greatness. That is not the vibration of someone aligned with divine purpose. Now, this doesn't mean you have to fear alcohol. Fear is not the answer. Awareness is. The chosen ones are not here to live in ignorance. They are here to break free, to see beyond illusion, to recognize the chains that have been placed around them and to remove them one by one. And that's exactly what we're going to do. In the next part of this journey, we're diving even deeper into how alcohol not only affects the individual, but also shifts the entire collective frequency of spaces where it is consumed. You won't believe how this one substance has the power to influence entire groups of people, entire communities, and even entire generations. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will change the way you see alcohol forever. Now that we understand how alcohol affects the individual on a spiritual level, let's take it a step further. What happens when alcohol is introduced into a group setting? What does it do to the collective energy of an environment? Think about it. Bars, clubs, parties, even casual gatherings where alcohol flows freely. There's a pattern. The energy shifts. At first, it's laughter, excitement, a feeling of release. But as the night progresses, things change. Have you ever noticed how easily alcohol can turn a joyful moment into chaos? How quickly conversations shift from lighthearted to aggressive, emotional, or even deeply sorrowful? That's because alcohol doesn't just lower the vibration of an individual, it lowers the vibrational frequency of the entire environment. It creates openings for negative energies to thrive. This is why places where alcohol is consumed in excess often become breeding grounds for conflict, misunderstandings, and even spiritual oppression. Let's take a look at this from a biblical perspective. In Genesis 9 verse 21, we see that Noah, a man chosen by God, made a critical mistake. He became drunk, and what happened? Shame entered his household. His vulnerability led to an event that carried deep consequences for generations to come. In Proverbs 23 verses 29 to 30, we read, "Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has strife? Who has complaining? Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Those who tarry long over wine, those who go to try mixed wine. Notice what's being described here. Whoa! Sorrow, strife, complaining, wounds without cause. These are not random words. They are the energetic consequences of alcohol consumption. The Bible is warning us that alcohol opens doors to things we don't even realize we're inviting into our lives. Now consider this. Have you ever been in a room where everyone was drinking, yet you felt like something was off? Maybe you couldn't explain it, but deep down there was a shift in the spiritual atmosphere. That's not your imagination. That's your spirit sensing the truth. Chosen ones are naturally sensitive to energy. You can walk into a room and feel when something is not right. This is why many of you feel uncomfortable in environments where alcohol is dominant. You might not even be drinking yourself, but just being in that space can feel draining, unsettling, or spiritually disruptive. Why? Because alcohol weakens the spiritual guard of an entire group. When people drink, their discernment drops, their auras become compromised, and their consciousness becomes more susceptible to external influence. This is why arguments escalate, why reckless decisions are made, and why people wake up with regret, not just because of a hangover, but because they open themselves to things they didn't understand. Now, let's go even deeper. Have you ever heard someone say, "That wasn't me last night," after drinking? That's because it wasn't. Alcohol creates an environment where spirits can take control. No, I'm not talking about some Hollywood-style possession. I'm talking about energetic influence, the subtle but powerful shift in behavior, mood, and thought patterns that happens when someone is no longer in full control of their own vessel. The Bible tells us in Ephesians 5 verse 18, "Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Instead, be filled with the Spirit." The choice is clear. Either we allow God's Spirit to fill us, or we allow something else to take its place. There is no neutral ground. And this is exactly why so many spiritual traditions, from Christianity to Buddhism to ancient mystical teachings, warn against excessive alcohol use. It is not just a drink, it is a spiritual tool that can be used for or against you. This is why places where alcohol is abused often feel heavy, chaotic, or even spiritually stagnant. There is a reason Jesus performed his first miracle at a wedding, turning water into wine, but there is also a reason why he never indulged in drunkenness. Jesus understood the balance. He knew that once you cross the line from moderation to excess, you open doors that should never be opened. For the chosen ones, this understanding is critical, because if you are here, it means you are meant to operate on a higher frequency. It means your soul journey is not meant to be derailed by distractions, by lower vibrational influences, or by things that weaken your divine connection. So let's put this into practical terms. How do you protect your spiritual vibration in environments where alcohol is present? Set clear intentions before entering a space. Before attending a gathering, take a moment to pray or affirm, "I am protected. My energy remains high. I will not absorb what does not serve me." Be mindful of who you surround yourself with. If you notice a shift in energy, trust your intuition and remove yourself. Limit your exposure. If a space feels off, don't ignore that feeling. The chosen ones are spiritually guided for a reason. Stay grounded in spiritual practices. Meditation, prayer, and conscious breathing help restore your energy after being in a lower vibrational space. Understand this. Your spiritual growth, endurance, and self-realization depend on the choices you make daily. Alcohol may be normal to the world, but chosen ones are not called to be normal. You are called to be set apart, to walk in divine purpose, and to remain spiritually aligned. In the next section, we will uncover something even more shocking: the illusion of alcohol and how it creates a false sense of fulfillment, only to leave you spiritually empty. You do not want to miss this. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal could change everything you've ever believed about alcohol's role in your life. Now that we understand how alcohol affects both the individual and collective energy, we need to go even deeper to expose the illusion it creates. For the chosen ones, Life is not about temporary pleasure. It's about spiritual growth, endurance, and self-realization. But alcohol, it tricks you into believing that it's helping you, when in reality, it's creating a false sense of fulfillment, one that leaves you even more disconnected from your divine purpose. Think about it. Why do people turn to alcohol? To relax, to forget, to celebrate, to escape. But here's the truth. If something makes you feel like you need to escape your own reality, that means something in your life needs to be healed, not avoided. Let's take a biblical example. In the book of 1 Samuel 1 verses 9 to 16, we see a woman named Hannah, deeply distressed because she was unable to conceive a child. She prayed so fervently in the temple that Eli, the priest, thought she was drunk, but she responded, "No, my lord, I am a woman troubled in spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but I have been pouring out my soul before the Lord." This is powerful. Instead of numbing her pain with alcohol, she turned to God. Instead of escaping, she confronted her emotions head-on, and because of her faith, she was eventually blessed with a son, Samuel, one of the greatest prophets in history. But today, people don't pour out their hearts in prayer, they pour another drink. This is the trap. Alcohol gives you a false high, a momentary sense of confidence, peace, or happiness. But what happens when it wears off? The same problems are still there. The same void still lingers. The chosen ones must realize that lasting fulfillment does not come from substances, it comes from spiritual connection. And here's something most people don't understand. Alcohol actually disconnects you from your higher self by dulling your intuition. How many times have you ignored a red flag while drinking? How many times have you made a decision under the influence that your sober mind would never have agreed to? This is because alcohol lowers your vibrational frequency, pulling you away from divine guidance. The more you drink, the harder it becomes to hear the quiet voice of the Holy Spirit leading you in the right direction. This is why people who regularly consume alcohol often feel lost, unmotivated, or spiritually numb. They are operating at a lower frequency, unable to fully tap into the spiritual power within them. But let's go even deeper. Have you ever noticed that people often drink to feel something? To feel alive, brave, free? Chosen ones, hear me. The fact that alcohol is used to access these states should be a red flag. You were not meant to borrow confidence from a drink. You were meant to cultivate it from within. You were not meant to feel free because of a substance. You were meant to walk in true freedom through spiritual alignment. You were not meant to need alcohol to feel joy. You were meant to experience joy naturally as a product of divine purpose. This is why Jesus says in John 7 verses 37 to 38, "If anyone thirsts, let him come to me and drink. Whoever believes in me, as the scripture has said, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water." Living water, not fermented, not altered, pure, divine, life-giving energy. But the world doesn't want you drinking from that well. The world wants you numb, distracted, and disconnected, because a disconnected chosen one is a powerless chosen one. This is why the spiritual journey requires awareness. The chosen ones are here to see through the illusion, to break free from habits that weaken them, to step into their highest calling with clarity and power. So, how do you reclaim your spiritual strength? Start by being honest with yourself. Ask, am I using alcohol to escape something deeper? What am I avoiding? Replace the illusion with something real. If you drink to relax, try meditation. If you drink to celebrate, find joy in community. If you drink to escape, turn inward and heal what is asking for attention. Raise your vibration through natural spiritual practices, prayer, fasting, spending time in nature, engaging in self-reflection. All of these elevate your frequency without harming your soul. At the end of the day, this is about liberation. The chosen ones were not called to live in spiritual bondage. You are here to awaken, to expand, to walk in divine authority. In the next section, we will explore something even more profound, how alcohol's impact has been warned about in spiritual traditions across history, and what they reveal about its true nature. Stay with me. this is about to get even deeper. If the spiritual impact of alcohol was not significant, why would so many spiritual traditions warn against it? Why would scriptures, mystics, and enlightened teachers across time emphasize the importance of clarity, sobriety, and divine connection? The truth is, chosen ones, alcohol has never been just a drink. It has always been a tool of separation. A substance that can either purify or corrupt depending on how it is used. Let's start with one of the most well-known warnings, Buddhism. Buddhists teach that alcohol is one of the 5 precepts, meaning it is a direct barrier to enlightenment. They believe that intoxication leads to mindlessness, which in turn creates suffering, ignorance, and a loss of self-awareness. In Buddhist philosophy, clarity is the foundation of wisdom, and anything that dulls the mind is a hindrance to spiritual growth. This aligns perfectly with Christian teachings. In Galatians 5 verses 19 to 21, Paul lists drunkenness alongside sins like idolatry and sorcery, stating clearly that those who do such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. Now, why would drunkenness be placed in the same category as sorcery? Because they both involve a loss of control. They both involve opening the soul to forces that do not serve God's purpose. This is no small thing. Then we have Hinduism, where alcohol is considered a tamasic substance, meaning it increases darkness, laziness, and ignorance within the body and mind. Hindus seeking higher states of consciousness are advised to stay away from alcohol as it lowers their vibration and weakens their connection to divine wisdom. The Quran, too, warns about alcohol, calling it Satan's handiwork, Surah Al-Ma'idah 5:90-91. It explicitly states that alcohol was created as a means to cause enmity among people and distract them from God. And what about ancient alchemists? They believed that alcohol had 2 sides, one that could heal and purify, and one that could consume and destroy. The same way fire can be used to refine gold or to burn a house down, alcohol can be used for ritual purification or for spiritual degradation. The pattern is clear. Across time, across cultures, across religious and spiritual traditions, alcohol is seen as a substance that can separate you from your highest potential. So, why does society embrace it? Because the enemy knows how to package destruction in a way that looks harmless. He knows that chosen ones have a mission, a divine path, a purpose greater than they can imagine. And what better way to keep them from reaching their full power than by normalizing something that dulls their mind, weakens their spirit, and lowers their vibration? You see, this is not just about alcohol. This is about control. When you dull the mind of a society, when you weaken its spiritual core, when you keep people distracted and disconnected, they become easier to manipulate. They stop questioning. They stop seeking truth. They lose touch with the divine power within them. This is why the chosen ones must wake up. Because spiritual awareness is power. Because the enemy does not fear those who are asleep. He fears those who wake up. This is why Jesus emphasized spiritual sobriety. In 1 Thessalonians 5 verses 6 to 8, we are warned, "So then, let us not be like others who are asleep, but let us be awake and sober. For those who sleep, sleep at night, and those who get drunk at night. But since we belong to the day, let us be sober, putting on faith and love as a breastplate and the hope of salvation as a helmet." Let that sink in. Let us not be like others who are asleep. You were never meant to live like the rest of the world. You were meant to walk in spiritual clarity, purpose, and divine guidance. You were meant to be a light in the darkness, a warrior in the battle, a leader in the awakening. And if you've ever wondered why you feel different, why you've struggled more than others, why your path seems more challenging, it's because you are chosen, and chosen ones must walk in endurance. Now, this does not mean you have to live in fear of alcohol. Fear is not the answer. The answer is awareness. The answer is conscious choice. This is why it is so important to be mindful of what you consume, not just physically, but spiritually. Be mindful of the environments you enter. Ask yourself, is this a place of high vibration or low vibration? Be mindful of your choices. Ask, am I doing this to connect with God, or am I doing this to escape something? Be mindful of your purpose. You are here for something greater than a fleeting pleasure. You are here to fulfill your divine mission. And here's the most powerful truth. You do not need alcohol to feel joy, confidence, or freedom, because those things already exist within you. The world wants you to think you need external substances to feel whole, but God has already placed everything you need inside of you. When you raise your vibration, when you align yourself with divine truth, when you walk in clarity, you are unstoppable. And that is what the enemy fears the most. So what happens when you finally break free? When you stop allowing alcohol to be a barrier between you and your spiritual growth. That's exactly what we'll cover in the final section. The path to liberation. How the chosen ones can reclaim their spiritual power and step fully into their divine calling. You do not want to miss this. Stay with me, because what's coming next will be the most powerful revelation yet. We've uncovered the truth about alcohol, its history, its spiritual effects, and how it has been used as a tool to disconnect the chosen ones from their divine path. But now, we must talk about freedom, because this is not about condemnation. This is about liberation. The truth is, chosen ones were never meant to live in spiritual chains. You were created to walk in power and wisdom and in divine purpose. But in order to step into that calling, you must make the conscious decision to break free from anything that lowers your vibration, clouds your discernment, or weakens your connection to God. So, how do you do that? It starts with awareness. Once you see the illusion, it can no longer control you. Once you understand the truth, you can make choices that align with your highest self. But awareness alone is not enough. You must also take action. Step 1. Reconnect with your divine source. Jesus said in John 15 verse 5, "I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing." This means that your power comes from your connection to God. When you are deeply connected, when you are rooted in divine truth, there is no need for artificial stimulation. There is no need for substances to bring temporary relief, because you are already full. So, how do you reconnect? Through prayer. Not just surface-level prayer, but deep, soul-stirring, heart-opening conversations with God. Through meditation and stillness. The chosen ones must learn to quiet their minds so they can hear the subtle guidance of the Holy Spirit. Through fasting. The Bible repeatedly shows us that fasting is one of the most powerful ways to purify the body, the mind, and the spirit. When you fast, you strengthen your self-discipline and break the cycle of dependency. Step 2. Detox your mind, body, and spirit. If alcohol has been part of your life, you must understand that it leaves residue, not just physically, but spiritually. Cleansing yourself means flushing out toxins, drink more water, eat high-vibrational foods, and nourish your body with the things that sustain life. Breaking soul ties to environments and habits. If you have memories, routines, or triggers that lead you back to alcohol, replace them with new, life-giving practices. Purging spiritual baggage through prayer, repentance, and actively choosing a higher frequency lifestyle. You cannot step into a new season while carrying the chains of the old one. Step 3. Raise your vibration. Alcohol lowers your vibration. This is a fact. If you want to reclaim your power, you must commit to raising your frequency through intentional living. Spend time in nature. The earth itself carries a healing frequency that restores balance to your spirit. Surround yourself with high-energy people. If your circle is full of those who drain you or tempt you into old habits, it's time to shift your environment. Practice gratitude. The quickest way to elevate your energy is to live in a state of thankfulness. And here's something most people don't talk about. Joy is the highest vibration you can cultivate. The Bible tells us in Nehemiah 8 verse 10, "The joy of the Lord is your strength." When you are operating in true joy, you are untouchable. You do not need alcohol to feel good, because your spirit is already overflowing with divine energy. Step 4. Walk in your calling. Chosen ones, you are being called higher. You are being asked to step into your full potential. And the truth is, not everyone will understand this journey. The world will tell you that you're overthinking, that alcohol isn't that deep, that it's just for fun. But you know better. You've seen the spiritual warfare. You've felt the shifts in energy. You've experienced the difference between walking in clarity and walking in confusion. And that's why you cannot go back. Because once the truth is revealed, there is no unseeing it. This is your moment, your awakening, your time to fully step into the power, purpose, and divine mission that God has placed in your heart. You were not chosen for mediocrity. You were chosen for greatness. And greatness requires sacrifice. It requires letting go of what no longer serves you. It requires breaking free from the systems of the world and walking boldly in divine alignment. And most of all, it requires trust, because when you walk away from alcohol, you are not losing anything. You are gaining everything. Final thought, a challenge for the chosen ones. If you are truly ready to step into a higher vibration, I challenge you to 30 days of spiritual clarity. For the next 30 days, no alcohol, no environments that drain your energy, no distractions from your spiritual growth. Instead, replace those things with deep prayer and meditation, physical and spiritual detox, high-frequency habits that elevate your soul. And watch what happens. Watch how your mind clears. Watch how your energy shifts. Watch how doors begin to open that you never expected. Because when you align yourself with divine purpose, the universe responds. And this is just the beginning. Because once you experience the power of living in full spiritual clarity, you will never want to go back. The path is clear. The choice is yours. Are you ready to walk in your highest vibration? Now that you've uncovered the forbidden truth about alcohol's spiritual impact, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? This isn't just about cutting out a habit. This is about stepping into your highest frequency, aligning with your divine purpose, and embracing the spiritual power that has always been inside you. But here's something even more important. Alcohol is just one of the many ways the world tries to disconnect the chosen ones from their calling. There are other hidden traps designed to keep you from raising your vibration and fulfilling your soul journey. And that's why I want you to watch the next video that's appearing on your screen right now. In it, we'll expose another major spiritual deception that most people don't even realize is influencing their lives. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Before you go, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future revelations that could transform your spiritual path. And if this message spoke to you, drop a comment below. What was your biggest takeaway? What changes are you ready to make? I read every comment, and I want to hear your thoughts. Chosen ones, this is your time to rise. Step into your power, walk in spiritual clarity, and never settle for anything that pulls you away from your divine destiny. I'm Harold, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay blessed and keep raising your vibration.